during the meditations, and there is a kind of the analytic meditation, and when you have like such different thoughts, and when these thoughts is coming, and should to recognize and to say currently or the moment I'm studying impermanent, and I'm searching for something, the permanent things. And because my mind is all the time is concerning everything looks like substantially existent or the permanent. And then says, this look in the outer, like the universe is very big, thick, but even this huge one is impermanent. Nothing there is truly existence. And this perspective, I'm of course is impermanent. Even living beings, how much is changed? They are the like kind of impermanent. Of course, I'm impermanent. And even in the living beings, there's such a holy, powerful, emanated, each such and human beings. Also, they passed away and already impermanent. And I myself is absolutely, there's no need to mention, and impermanent. Then it's like this kind of realizations and how it is like kind of the mind is received, the enthusiastic to practice the Dharma. And also as we are saying, it's like in my families, and directly or the indirectly, or the seeing or not seeing. And also there's the families and the dears, and like kind of love someone is the passed away, and we already lost, how much we suffered, and we are cried a lot and something. But they already gone, impermanent. And so we don't, no one's know now where they are. And also it's like same as them, myself also one day is this kind of happened. And before that, I want to do something to give education my mind. I want to learn and to study this process of the impermanent like this. And also it's like here's another examples. And to next page is to sayings. It's like who knows whether those who is presented wealth and importance makes then every of the ordinary folk will still be in the same position this time as next year or even next month. It's like it's kind of the everybody's like envies for the ordinary folks, and to say, wow, this person is like powerful. Wow, this person is like very much prosperity or the rich. Wow, this person is like really famous. And this kind of people has such envy. And envy is like this, and in the middle of the ordinary folk and the perspective. And then it's like, we don't know this person's this year or next year. Sometimes it's like, who knows, they are truly, how does it continue to exist, or this week, this month, next years. Sometimes even they are like kind of easily to disappear. And like this, today is very famous, maybe tomorrow, who knows? Today is very rich, tomorrow we don't know. And today is very powerful, tomorrow we don't know which kind of. And in this perspective, everybody is impermanent, I'm impermanent. When it's like, am I impermanent arrive? I want to nice swimming into my impermanent water, and like this, and I'm a little asleep. Would you like to welcome me? Can you provoke me, please? You haven't
free.
got other? Maybe better alone. This one?
It's working.
Okay. Don't touch. Okay.
Reminders?
Okay. Do you have this one? This microphone. Does it work? Change. Geku la change. Geku la change.
Okay. Ready. What are the 4 reminders? You were mentioning them.
The 4 reminders are human existence, impermanent, causalities, defects of the samsara. These are, we call the 4 reminders. What does it mean? These 4 reminders, if you learn to study, then your minds turn back from the samsara. And these 4 reminders give you renunciation, hesitation to the samsara. This 4 situation is the reality of the samsara and our situation. We can to say that you have human existence, it's a truth, you are human being. But you are impermanent, absolutely a truth. And after the impermanent, it's not disappeared. It is like a kind of the, when you're making the fire, after these ashes disappeared. And also sometimes water there is evaporated, and like this kind of, after we died, completely disappeared, completely nothing there is left. It's okay. Then it's a scary thing, but okay. But not. We have destination. And go to next is go we go, where we go, samsara. Samsara means, is the meaning of the samsara, cyclic existence. Cycle is going on. Up, down, where we can to go. Like same as the day and night. Can we go to beyond without day and night? Is it possible? Exactly like this. When we go to the samsara, sometimes going up like a human God. Fell down, hell, hunger goes, it's going like this. Then it's wherever go to in the samsara, it's a defects, sufferings. And then it's what you need to go, you need to be enlightenment. We call the nirvana. And this nirvana means, also it's very important to think. Sometimes we think nirvana is where maybe something else. When I study, when I practice, then I will become the nirvana. I can to realize. Nirvana means it's samsara nirvana in your mind. Sorrow is samsara, happy is nirvana. This is alternate. There is. Outside we can to say some ugly, awful, unpleasant is samsara. Pleasant, pure, nice, it's nirvana. And inside our minds, oh, I'm now suffering, pain, uncomfortable, anxieties. This is samsara. That moment, there is no nirvana. And then I'm samsara because I'm anxiety, because I'm nervous, because I'm like kind of depressed, I'm unhappy, full of the disturbed emotions. But this is not forever, certainly changed. Your mind is no fixated, free mind. And changed, wow, I'm happy now. I'm not sick, everything is fantastic. Laughing and mind is flying. Then it's feeling happy. Happy. This happy is nirvana. Now, and this one important, that moment, this happiness, there's no name of the sufferings. Suffering cannot change to there. At that moment you're searching, there's no sufferings. But this one is at the moment is not fixed, not permanent, change. But now we are extending nirvana. Today I'm at 1 hour's happiness. I want to extend 2 hours. Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, 3 hours. Day after tomorrow, 4. One day I want my happiness extended 24 hours. Then it's 24 hours you change your happiness to maintain. And this, then that is the nirvana. C'est comme ça. Then it's a happiness. That is the necessary to think. And this we need to interest. 4 reminders, making your unpleasant mind. For example, there's a human existence, you have made showing that you have chance, possibility. You have all necessity, you do something, showing wonderful. Impermanent, pushing you, say, do quickly. If you don't do quickly, it's you losing your process. And also the third is like the defect maybe. And after you lose, you are going to samsara. Wherever you go to samsara, it's a defect, not very good. To think about the defects of the samsara, do quickly. Then it's inevitable of the causalities. Where you go to next destination, it's the completely depends on your present situation, the actions. In this case, telling to ourselves, do positive, do extend your nirvana. And we need to tell ourselves, And sometimes I analyze, my mind is automatically never doing positive things. All the times I need to tell to my mind, do positive things, do positive things. If really mind is like, is go under the disturbing emotions, the mind wants to all the times negative things. And mind to do negative things, the result is negative. Then mind is, some children, they beat themselves, but they don't know. After they bang, mommy, daddy, I'm sick. And they make shit themselves and they eat, then it's ugly, mommy, daddy is not delicious. And exactly like this, we are sometimes, our mind is habitual tendencies, coding these disturbing emotions is like doing ugly things, but we don't know. Result is not fantastic. Therefore, we need to tell to the mind, hey, look at the reminders and do quickly. Okay, yes, good question. And other?
Yes, well, it goes out of what you said right now. Isn't it ideal, as I understand, maybe it's not correct, that you go, in Buddhism, you go beyond nirvana and samsara? So that is...
Beyond to go beyond the nirvana, also the samsara. So it's yes, there is.
My
you
question,
can.
If that's so, isn't that a kind of, like you live like a life, understanding everything, wouldn't that be a bit of, apathy towards everything?
Not in the samsara, not is nirvana means. Go beyond this, absolutely.
That would be like, like non-action, like what?
Oh, there's such action, wonderful action, really.
Develop?
That is a good question. It's go beyond the samsara. At the moment, our samsara, our nirvana is both contaminated, unstable. I'm a sorrow, it's incontaminated. It is awful, suffering. But it is not kind of the forever. I'm now happy. Wow, I'm so happy. Contaminated, not forever, changing. And this kind of contaminate, this temporary happiness, temporary sorrow, there is you call the samsara and nirvana, but why we need to stay on there? Go beyond there is. Go beyond that is the extraordinary in the middle, the holder of the both. And you go beyond it, you reach this universal, the ground of this samsara and nirvanas. And you reach in that perspective there, and you reached expression of the samsara. Nirvana is both your expressions. And you have both activity, but nothing to make some suffering to you, or nothing to make kind of contaminate happy or like this kind of. Yours is like mind, the same as present, your principal mind. Your present now in your principal mind is, this principal mind is, the express mind, if it becomes suffering, angry, dirty, polluted, it doesn't damage. It's go beyond. And then certainly change your mind, it becomes compassion, wisdom, extraordinary. Your principal mind, it doesn't make more good things. It's nothing change. It's a principal mind, it's their principle. When you become the same as that, it's both samsara, nirvana, is your ornament. You have such wonderful things, need to quickly to do it. Other?
Rinpoche, on page 7, it is written.
A little bit close your microphone.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's better. On the page 7, it is written, if every one of the billion universes which constitute the cosmos, each with its own Mount Meru, 4 continents and heavens, is to be simultaneously destroyed in this way, leaving only space behind. And this is what I wanted to ask about. What about the space? Is the space in that case something permanent, or?
I mean, this space is like kind of the space, okay? Space hasn't got shape, color, dimension. And relatively, space is the universal ground. Space is not existent birth. Space is like kind of old age, sickness, death. But space is the producer of the everything. But space is, there's no kind of the start coming, no start to develop, no like kind of destructions. And space is space. This is, and only everything is become the kind of and relatively the space there. And this is like kind of the nature of the reality and space like this. And also this is very much in the relatively we talking about externally space. But we have inner space, ultimate space. We are come from this space, we are abiding in this space, we dissolve into this space, we need to search in this space. This space is like just all the times, like same as I give answer, principle space, natural expanse space. And this space, there is no existence of the birth, old age, sickness, death. This perspective we make in the freedom of that. Otherwise, how we can to make freedom of the birth, old age, sickness, death? And also, relatively, oh yes, universal comes from this space, abiding this space, dissolve into the space, just left behind their space. And beginning there's universal, nothing there is but space, and comes from space, abiding space, dissolved space. Space itself is there is no kind of the coming, no going, and space is space. But we don't understand that. We need to learn, to study. We use studies inconceivable, wow, marvelous. You need to deeply to study in the suttas perspective. There's such debate and philosophical to study. Then you go to more and more deep Mahamudra, great perfections. Then it's like amazing. It's these teachings. Wow. Wow. Other?
So in this case, we could say that this space, it's like synonymous to the nature of the mind. Yes.
This is outer nature is like this.
Thank you.
This outer nature is a space, we can to say. Space is a space. Space, no shape, color, no death, no old age. It's space, a space. Everything comes from the space. There's a source of the space. Space not electronic, not a particle, antiparticle, not electricity. Space is, there's no dimension, but space is the source of the 5 elements. Space is the source of the universal. Space is, everything is living in the space. And you can't touch space, you can't see the space, you can't do nothing in space. The space is very much functional. But in the relatively, okay, this space is like this earth space. But it's like in the space, everything is like flying, okay? Birds fly, my hand is going like this, but nothing left. Each moment our exhaustion is into the space, but in the space there's no thread. Because itself is space. Universe itself is space. Inner beings are also itself a space. But we don't understand that is space and material thing. Then we need to love. No, this is not space. I can touch being. This space. Okay, then you say, okay, then. Reality, everything is a space. Go beyond, cannot go beyond space. If it's not space, then it's like we are rubbish being, you know. My old body, my old verb, my old house, my old car, put there's garbage. And to look at the back, where is my garbage? Someone's eaten it. By the space. Nothing left, there is. Well, those polluted, where they're gone? Polluted itself space. Very funny, yes? Yes, to study them, wonderful. Okay, okay. And then it's others? Maybe yes, okay.
Rinpoche, could you talk a little bit about the 5 degenerations?
I mean, it's 5 degeneration. It's like the beings, time, and life, and emotions. Like this, there's 5 kind of the degeneration times. It is like then is this year's study talking about in pollution, disturbing emotion is more strong. Then everything's kind of the relative, okay? And the relatively, it's like degeneration means it's like a kind of the leftover. And it's like even for example, beings, also all the good beings disappeared. Practitioners, compassionate, excellent, like immanent, something is beings disappeared. Then worse, it's like leftover, impossible something is like to communicate things left. And then it's also food is like this. Then lifespan is also left, and shorter and shorter. Like this kind of, there's 5. Can you look? Mm-hmm.
We are in a time of degeneration. Nowadays.
There is, you can to say it's a start degeneration.
Yes.
Why? Because our life is 100. Maybe it is going more down. It's a shorter and shorter. Probably one day it's 10 years old, our lifespan. And then it's going up. Maybe it's like when we look at some prophecy, some is like Buddha's teaching says, like maybe it's like human being, particularly as the human beings, become very, very intelligent at what? The negative intelligent. And it's like each others want to harm each other, very intelligent. And if I need to get something, is a kind of the fancy, good things. I created. But when I created this one, as much as damaged to other neighborhoods, I don't care. And when I get what I wanted, I created. And like this, then these days, many things is to create this career. I make the joke, for example, in the lineage of the Namu, there's one hospitals. They take out these chemical things, put in the one cave. All this chemical, this like, I think nuclear something is. Now every year they're looking, but there are maybe 1,000 liters. They said one day this contains broken, almost the area is finished. And this sort of you created, but afterwards how you can destroy. These creations, we get something powerful things. For example, electricity. Like this kind of like get such good electricity, but this electricity produces small things. If something explodes, it's huge miles, thousands, millions of people can to die. Afterwards, it's like, but then this is intelligent, means it's negative way, intelligent way. Then this for the antidote, maybe positive things. Something you created, this maybe is like to put some areas to clean up and to receive this kind of, to be healthy, this kind of very difficult. And in this case, then it's like create more polluted things. Then it's like kind of the leftover is become like this.
A part of taming our mind, is there something we can do about it?
Yeah. I mean, it's like to try each individual, often the holiness to say, maybe ourselves, if we can to help to our universal, it's like how we need to show, it's like to them, help. We need to change ourselves to more compassionate, more kindness, more like practice like this kind of development. And to this day to communication is more worse, very difficult. Like more is like showing the attitude, showing the like kind of conduct, showing the behaviors, and that is maybe helping to others, human qualities. Like someone says, like I'm never take the bath. Why? Because I'm taking care of the environmental, is the waters. But one person to take a bath, it doesn't like damage to the just one bath, but to showing, it is like, and the one is like, for example, it's very funny things. Some lamas like include the holiness, even that they wearing clothes, very simple, very nice, and clean, everything they showing. Why they showing? Maybe they're imitating. So I'm showing to the qualities, take a humble and like this. For example, holiness is like someone's wearing very expensive things, and he says, you have great meritorious, you can read this, I can't. And it's like to sit very high, these things. Also, he said, like, he's wearing chapaling, normal, ordinary monk clothes, and like this. Also, when he reading, not like this, very precise, not crazy way. Whatever they do, but for themselves, maybe whatever they do, that doesn't matter. But they're showing to human quality to others. Like this, maybe it's for ourselves to help to others. We eating, talking, doing, and we do everything. So try our best. Then it's helping to the others. Even they look at ours, it's like it's awful things. Then it's giving information very strange and telling to the very ugly things. And they look at us wearing strange clothes and doing strange, saying the Dharma practitioner, And then is the people we are not really helping. And then is we want to teach to them, impossible. But it's to a little sure the helping to others, then maybe everybody become taking care each other, and then is maybe degenerations disappeared.